to engage around technology, to engage around jobs, to engage on a practical side of how we can build this country using technology. And I'm really, really excited.
It's been a long, long time. see it, that she lead. When we kissed, out when deep, on your far away. Keep on keep on emotion, finish yeah. Keep on keep on going, finish yeah. Used to be my everything, treated me like I was a queen. Once married, you passed to me. Oh, I said not to leave. You said, boy, never be afraid of ever, ever loving me. Those words I happened to. Oh, Lord, I was so fool. You became my dynamic, keeping up on the answers, so you can notice. Even when you suddenly picture things and look the keys, and that's crazy. If I keep on being much, feeling silly. If I keep on over, feeling silly. If I keep on being much, feeling silly. If I keep on over, feeling silly. No about a team, 'cause everything is gonna be alright. Say don't worry about a thing, 'cause everything is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile on the rising sun. Three little birds beside my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melody, purity. Say, this is my message to you. Say, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile on the rising sun. Three little birds beside my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melody, purity. Say, this is my message to you. Say, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Say don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing,
I just realized that if I try to sing like you,
every little thing
I'll probably get
is
myself
gonna
into
be
trouble.
alright.
So I will kindly ask that you just give me a quick minute to make a quick announcement. Because I tried singing, but they turned off my microphone. I have a good
Highly
voice.
spiritual.
I have a good voice, I promise. Do you want to try? You know? No, let's not do that. It's not advisable. Just a quick announcement. So today's event will be broadcast on 97.3 City FM. So please note that once we begin, we would want to, as much as possible, make sure we go through the entirety of the program by 12, because at 12 o'clock we would have to cross over back to the studio for City Prime News. So after the news this morning on City FM, I think the breakfast show is over at the moment. So there's going to be a news bulletin for 5 minutes, and then the studio is going to cross over to us here for the entirety of the program. So as much as possible, for all the speakers, we will need you to understand that because it's on radio, we don't like to have, dead air, moments where there's nothing happening. So if you look at the program that has been given to you, you know who's supposed to speak after whom. So once someone is speaking and rounding up, I would prompt you so that you can get yourself ready. So we have as a minimum amount of dead air as possible. So the program is really, really tight and everybody can appreciate what exactly is going on. As you probably are aware, issues of technology sometimes are not very easy for people to understand. And so we need to make sure that today's event is as exciting as possible and people understand what the possibilities are as well, and they can be a part of the conversation moving forward. And so once again, you are welcome to Tech Job Fair 2022. The theme, of course, is connecting your tech skills with the right businesses in the fast-growing ICT sector. And for all the speakers, just a quick note, there's a microphone that's going to be here. When you come, you will see the on button. Just put it on, and you can speak directly into the microphone. You are not special like me, so you don't have a microphone like the one I'm holding. It's okay. It happens all the time. So your microphone will be here. So just come over, and then you put it on, and then you can go. Once you are done, humbly ask that you put it off, because we've seen in times past where people leave the microphones on and very interesting things are said. So try as much as possible to put the microphones off once you are done. So the radio station, 97.3 City FM, where we're going to be live on, will be crossing over really, really soon. And so we're going to have 2 quick songs from the Arc Band. And then after that, we're going to begin the program. Once again, you are welcome to Tech Job Fair 2022. And it's going to be really, really interesting and exciting today. Thank you.
The music. Feel the music.
some more. Ooh, yeah, irreplaceable. I wanna know now, for tonight some more. Yes, yes, in life I know, yes, Lord of me, but your love is my tears of mine spill, tears of mine spill, while I'm waiting for my turn. See, I don't wanna really wait for your love. I don't wanna really wait for your love. I don't wanna really wait for your love. Please, not bad.
Trust me, you go.
He's the Atman walking line. Right here. Don't baby, now I am right. Man, what do you need? Train anymore. I want you to feel me from and before you and and make a mini on yeah, but too, I'm one of the moon. Never see you, don't say, Mommy, come on, Mommy, come on, Mommy, come on, hey, hey. I want to see you, don't say, Mommy, come on, Mommy, come on, hey, hey. Mommy, come on, I don't cancel. Mommy, go on it. Go ahead. Mommy, come on it. Hey, I want you to be I don't cancel. Mommy, go on it. Won't I won't come on it to my world. I don't cancel. Hey, I don't cancel.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and you are welcome once again to an event that will set us on the right path. We've been on this path for quite a while, which involves, among other things, reconditioning the minds of a whole nation about just how much tech can contribute to its development. And it's such a wonderful time to be in, with everything happening globally in tech, with how nations are being transformed through technology, with conversations like Meta and the virtual universe. It is such an exciting time to be in technology, and kudos to the team that put the Tech Job Fair 2022 together, because it not only gives us a signal of just how important technology is, but then it also brings all the different players together to have a conversation, because often that is what is missing, that conversation between the various players, just so that we can ensure that we are all on the same path. Now, the Tech Job Fair is an annual event that brings together industry players, educationists, students, government, and job seekers to understand the information and communication technology job roles. The job fair is used to exhibit current ICT-related job openings in various industries, and also to help other stakeholders to understand the ICT skills needs of employers. This is part of the broader agenda to ensure an enabling environment is created for young people to access decent jobs so they can benefit from the digital transformation agenda of Ghana. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome onto stage a young man. I don't know if he's young, because he looks young, but when he speaks like he's wiser than his age. So that's a big compliment to him. Someone who has been instrumental in putting all of this together. And so for those of you who don't have enough context about why you're here or why these conversations are important, please help me welcome the Executive Director of the Institute of ICT Professionals Ghana, David Go. Please keep the clap going. He's a very special man.
Thank you, Philip. Good morning, invited guests. Good morning. I want to feel the energy. I'm really excited this morning to be here, and I'm really happy to see all of you. To the second Tech Job Fair. The first one, we had it online last year, and today we've opened it up here at the Accra International Conference Center. We are going to have a conversation about jobs. So I want to first talk about some figures when it comes to jobs. It is now clear that unemployment is a national security issue. And it must be given the needed attention, and we must take it very seriously. The official data released by the Ghana Statistical Service shows that unemployment rate in Ghana is now over 13%, 13.4% to be precise. And it is particularly worrying to also note that the unemployment rate for young people between the ages of 15 to 24 is over 32%. And this should get everybody worried because we are a country of young people. So it is very important for us to have a conversation that is focusing on technology. And it is focusing on jobs. So this morning, we are going to go through just some few steps. First, we want you to know that you are here to not only look for jobs, but also be informed. So we have speakers from job agencies, speakers from technology institutions, speakers from the tech industry, those who are hiring people. They are all here to first show the jobs that they have and also to explain how you can get access to some of these jobs. I look forward to a very exciting and engaging conversation here, and I wish everybody all the best. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was David Go, Executive Director, Institute of ICT Professionals. And now to speak to us on ICT capacity building, the perspective of IIPGH, please help me welcome Operations Director of the Institute of ICT Professionals, Richard Kafui Amanfu.
A very good morning to you all once again. And welcome to TGF 2022. Quickly, I'll take you through what our perspective is in the area of ICT capacity building. We, as a connector of ICT professionals and stakeholders, we believe in positively pushing the agenda to influence policy, development, standardization, and of course, delivery of ICT across Ghana and beyond. The aim of training professionals and certifying them, and to provide opportunities through networking to educate the public and to lead in technology as we. And of course, with the aim or with the vision of becoming the most reliable ICT partner in Ghana. What then is our focus? We believe foremost in early start. If I say early start, I mean starting from the basics, as low as from age 6, to help them understand what this digital skills is all about, and to bring them to bear in emerging technologies. We also believe in skill development for professionals. In this area, we have membership of over 2,000 as a professional body, and we take them through continuous professional development programs in emerging technologies as a part of supporting the digital transformation agenda of the country. We also believe in public education, by which way we educate the public in most of the ICT areas in terms of awareness. Where we introduced young kids, started with just children in our office back then in East Legon, where we introduced them to coding. Along the line, we partnered with our diaspora organizations in Germany, where we introduced the Coded software learning platform, which is a friendly tool for teaching children and beginners in learning programming very easily and playfully. Along the line, we introduced in-class training sessions for young ones, as in kids from age 6 and teenagers. And then when COVID hit us, we transitioned into online training. Now we have both sessions ongoing, online and in-house. So over the period, we have trained over 10,000 students, and we have extended that training to over 30,000 students and professionals in Ghana and abroad. Yes, you would want to clap, because we have extended the online program to countries like Zimbabwe and the USA. Still in believing in the early start, with our partners from Germany, we established the Digital Design and Creative Coding Hub in our office, which is meant to be a showroom for tools and concepts for digital learning and creative work. And we believe that introducing kids at an early age in creativity would help in especially knowledge transfer. Since the launch, we have trained over 400 children between ages 6 and 13 in digital skills, learning about new digital tools in digital design and creative coding. Still in believing in early start, we introduced an initiative to sensitize young girls and coach them in what we call promoting ICT career awareness programs for girls. We believe in inclusivity, so we have a keen focus on getting in girls in learning digital skills and to bridge the digital gender gap. You can see in the shots, we introduced, in collaboration with Vodafone Women in Technology, ICT career coaching workshop at Ola Girls back in 2019, and we did similar with MTN Women in Technology at Adontain Senior High, where we took young girls through ICT awareness. Now we'll move to professional skills development. In our space, we have taken professionals through over 70 programs in entrepreneurship, communication, cybersecurity, data science, and a lot of emerging technologies we have in our space. We believe in delivering value to our professionals by organizing these seminars and workshops. The recent one we had was in last year, October, where we put together our men in uniform from the Ghana Armed Forces who are part of IIPGH, where we took them through hands-on training in cybersecurity. And this also included members of IIPGH from the Ghana Police Service, CID. Still on professional skills development, having accreditation from National Teaching Council, we take teachers through their continuous professional development in selected districts in Ghana. This, we believe, would also extend our reach in sending ICT and digital skills understanding to the country and beyond. Still on professional skills development, back in 2018, we had a group of 200 young ones where we took them through advanced digital skills in advanced and intermediate level, targeted at helping them gain employment. Also in 2021, with Oracle Academy, we organized coding bootcamp for 300 undergrads in Ghana on how to build scalable enterprise applications using Oracle Application Express. Now we move on to public education. In terms of public education, we believe in pushing education and awareness programs to all. By this, we write articles and publish in the Business and Financial Times every Monday in our column we call ICT Insight with Institute of ICT Professionals. This, we write on all domains from cybersecurity, data protection, cloud, data science, anything you can think of relating to ICT. Because we believe in order to push the digital gender ahead, we need to also include everybody who is not immediately in our space. Now in 2020, 2021, we introduced what we call the Industry Academia Tech Dialogue, inducted. This we did with our partners, AFOS Foundation, and this is to bring together educators, students, policymakers, and others in the area of industry and academia to to put heads together to understand what industry expects from academia and what academia is also to do for students to be ready for industry. The very first edition took place in August 2021 at the University of Cape Coast with students and lecturers and industry players. We had a lot of people also participating online, and we discussed state of Ghana's cybersecurity. Should we be concerned? The second edition was held at the Accra Technical University in November last year, where we also discussed skills required to access technology jobs. The third is scheduled to be part of today's program later in the afternoon, where we'll be discussing critical ICT skills required to access tech jobs. Now, the Tech Job Fair is also a way of reaching out to the public. And we believe that using this avenue would get in more understanding so we can all get to where we want to reach in terms of digital agenda or the digitalization goal we want to achieve. The Maiden Tech Fair happened online in March, where we had experts in the domain from Oracle and our beautiful and strong women from MTN. Today, here we are with Tech Job Fair 2022 at the Accra International Conference Center, and we believe that this will help job seekers to understand the job market in terms of new skills in demand and how to prepare towards opportunities in 2022 and beyond. Thank you very much. Stick and stay whilst we take you through the program.
Thank you so much. Well, the event continues, and next up, we have a speech that will be looking at ICT capacity building and entrepreneurial development cooperation. As you know, the various players in the tech space cannot exist in a vacuum, so it's important that we all collaborate and work together. And speaking to us on this will be the board member of AFOS Foundation, the Federal Chairman, Association of Catholic Entrepreneurs Germany, and Director of the Global Ethic Institute, Professor Dr. Ulrich Hemmel.
So, hello everybody, dear invited guests. I'm really enthusiastic about being here, and I feel very honored to share with you some ideas about a cooperation between the entrepreneurial sector, between countries, and between persons. I think we have to build bridges. Bridges between persons, bridges between countries, bridges between industries. I myself, I'm an entrepreneur and an academic at the same time. I've seen a lot of countries, and now I'm very happy that due to the invitation of Martin Wilde and Ulrich Busch and many others, I can be here in Ghana. If we want to manage, ladies and gentlemen, dear invited guests, the challenges of the future, we need a close cooperation between all of us. So I first of all want to thank the University of Cape Coast, the Accra Technical University, the Institute of ICT Professionals, and the German Chamber of Commerce and Industry for this cooperation. Today I represent the AFOS Foundation. I'm the chairman of the supervisory board, and the Association of German Catholic Entrepreneurs. And we are very happy to be part of this initiative and support it gladly. So this is my first message. We need to cooperate. And if this morning we are here, we need to cooperate very closely. And sadly enough, we are in a world where we all want peace, but peace is not everything. We have seen this day that Russia invaded Ukraine. Thank you very much. What are we doing? We are human people, we are human persons, we are living together in one world. And living in one world, we have to share ideas, we have to share thoughts, we have to share our talent. And maybe you might ask, why does a Federation of Catholic Entrepreneurs of Germany comes up here to Ghana doing things for sharing talent? What is the idea behind? The idea is that we firmly believe that cooperation is a must and that the development, which very often has been seen as an asymmetrical path, must be symmetrical. It must be by sharing. And this is why I think the entrepreneurial path is a good path to go ahead. Because we believe that the private sector can generate growth, create jobs, and finally can provide prosperity for all of us. So the main focus of the AFOS Foundation is to support projects that promote the private sector and help to create jobs. We call that entrepreneurial cooperation. Of course, Germany lives to a large extent on exports. And for doing exports, we need to come other countries. We need to learn how things are in other countries. And we have to share our interests and our capacities. And I think Ghana is a very special place, a perfect place for doing so. And one of the major fields for sharing is education. We as human persons, in a way, are all the same. We have one head, two eyes, two ears, all of that. It's all the same, all over the world. So why don't we share? Why don't we go ahead and learn how to go with talented peoples and create a decent salary with decent jobs for the sake of their families and their life? We do that encouraging the spirit of entrepreneurship. And this means that we have to develop all of us, all the person, all the industries. I'm happy that we cooperate with Get Innotized, the German IT company from Munich, Germany. They also are a member of Catholic Entrepreneurs Association. They have come to Ghana, established themselves here, and we have created until now more than 100 jobs here in Ghana. And we have trained more than 1,000 young talents to become part of this world of ICT professionals in the global market. Get Innotized is cooperating with the AFOS Foundation and the University of Cape Coast, the Accra Technical University, and the Institute of ICT Professionals to train even more young talents in the DigitCap Ghana project. In last year, 2021, around 360 university students participated in this program, and among them, almost 160 young ladies. Both the overall number of participants and the number of young ladies is expected to increase sharply in this year and in the next year. The project has been co-founded by the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development and SEQA, the development agency of the German Business Associations and Chambers of Commerce and Industry. I want to express my profound gratitude to them. Again, coming back, the first thing is cooperation. But cooperation means that we have to have an idea how to cooperate, how to share. As Federation of Catholic Entrepreneurs in Germany, we are a group of business people who do not see business simply as profit-making, but also as sharing and also as sharing values. So both must be together, and it means for a faithful Christian, it is not a contradiction to make profit and to develop talent. Because if you treat your employees well, if you assist them to develop their good talents, if you coach them to grow, if they grow for themselves, your business also will grow. If we treat our customers fairly, if we give them fair value for their money, they will also grow their own businesses, and their demands will grow, and thus business as a supplier also will grow. If you respect your competitors, you might not only compete with them, but also explore opportunities to cooperate. Well, in a nutshell, if I look at values in business, I see three things. One is fairness, second is transparency, third is communication. And if something happens, normally people say it's unfair, it's not transparent, and it's poorly communicated, if at all. So think about that for your future. It is fairness, transparency, good communication. These are core values for every business. Now, if we share that, we are doing this in this development of the digital transformation, which is a big transformation. It really is as big as coming from hunters and gatherers to agricultural society, and from oral society to a written society, and to book printing and so on. And if you look at yourself, all of us, we are a person, a human person. I have to look where I have my phone because I have to show it to you. Well, maybe I have forgotten it. We are persons, first of all, as physical persons. Second, this is the extension of our person too, because a lot of data are in here. And third, we are cloud persons. So 1, 2, 3. And this is a new condition, but it's a condition of sharing. It's not restricted to one local place, Ghana, Accra, Germany, whatever. This is why we are interconnected as human beings. This is the challenging thing in the new wave of globalization, which is not only a globalization of goods and services, which is not only a globalization of communication and information, but it's also a globalization of norms and values. And we stand for a globalization also of human values. So this is a game changer, and I think it's coming quicker and quicker. It's coming especially with a new development in artificial intelligence, which is a big thing, and we have to learn as a society to incorporate ethics into the programming. We call that ethics by design. We have been developing programs for ethics workshops for the AI researchers, for the AI programming people, but we have to combine these two worlds. And they are different worlds, but they can be combined, and we have to learn that also as a society. We have learned that cars are moving quicker than we can run. So we also have to learn that AI devices can solve certain cognitive tasks better and more performing as we humans can be. But the cars do not dominate us. Also, AI should not dominate us. We as human beings should find a way to steer society, to go ahead with the devices and to find out what is the human purpose behind. And this, by the way, is one thing also in the Christian idea of digital transformation, because the Christian idea of the social doctrine in Christians is that we are persons, the centrality of the person, persons first. So the human person must steer the digital transformation, and this is part of talent education in that. And then, last thing, I think together it is easier than everybody alone. So this is also a part of a sharing economy. We share values, but we share also activities. We share talent, but we also share activities. And we should share also some human values, such as living up to dignity and respect. Now, the government cannot do everything. The government has the task to create an education system with fair and free access. But it has also to give liberty and to share both a free competition and social minimum standards. And so I think business leaders are really a good way to open up such a future for talents. And we have to combine both worlds, academia and business, for doing so. So in Germany, we have developed several modes of such cooperation, and we are willing to share these experiences. This is exactly what our AFOS Foundation and our member company, Digitalization and MEKAU, are doing here in Ghana. But as Ghanaians, you need to take that task in your own hands. It's useless to copy the German experience as such, and it's useless to cling to some concepts of the past. I found it very funny to see certain ideas of development. If you tell me, look, I tell you what development is, you should have a red shirt instead of a white shirt. I can believe that, but is that development? No, it is asymmetrical communication. We don't like asymmetrical communication. We like to understand where is the talent. We like to understand which is the path to go together. So what you see from here, we have two inspirations. One is the big chance from technology, and one is the big chance of sharing human values and finding a way to live up to standards of dignity and of respect. And this is what we want. And this is different from a purely technical innovation, which is important, but it must be followed by the human values behind that. This is the idea. I want to thank all of you who participate in the project, especially Hannah Schlingmann, the project manager of AFOS Foundation here in Ghana, Benjamin Schunke and Kwame Osetutu from Get Innotized, and Martin Wilde also helps a lot in this project. And again, I thank all partners from the University of Cape Coast, Technical University, and the Institute of ICT Professionals for their good and fruitful cooperation. And I wish you that Ghana may be the hub for the combination of technical innovation and an innovation in human values, for finding new ways of cooperation and of a sharing and a good value-based economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please put your hands together. And that was Professor Dr. Ulrich Hemmel. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot happening today. There's a lot of conversations going on today. And next up onto the stage to speak basically about tech job trends and skills in demand. Please help me welcome the CEO of Jobberman Ghana, Hilda Nimo Tieku.
Good morning. Okay. Please proceed. So just to talk about job trends in the IT sector. Okay, skip this. We wanted to talk to you about what is trending in terms of IT in telecom and what opportunities are out there for people to be able to tap into the jobs that are opened. So we tell you a little bit about who we are. Some people already do. Then what the job market is, what the trends were for 2021, and how you can tap into that. So Jobberman is an online recruitment firm, HR talent management organization. We've been in Ghana since 2012. We are backed by a company called Ringier One Media Africa, which is based in Switzerland. And part of our job is to make sure that employers are able to find the right talent and job seekers are also able to find the right jobs. So we'll give you a little bit of an overview. So in the world of right now, technology is very critical, especially when we went for lockdown during the COVID-19. Companies were scrambling around people. How are we going to connect to work? How are we going to work from home? And IT became like a top thing for people to do because now you need to get laptops. So you have laptops with desktop connections. We need to get internet connection which is stable to enable people to work. And companies had to adapt to technology, whether you liked it or not. Otherwise, then you would have been non-existent in the market. So whether you were in banking, insurance, whether you were in hospitality, whichever sector you were in, you had to adapt to technology to be able to work, especially during the COVID times and post-COVID. So in this era of digitalization, technology plays a vital role in development as a online staff, online recruitment. What does technology have? Most of our jobs are online, so we went to democratize the recruitment process. So we don't need to have 800 plus job seekers on our database, 800,000. We have about 28,000 employers on our database who are always looking for employers. So if you are with Jobberman, you're in the right place. We also have opportunities for employers to put up their banner, create awareness for job seekers and also for employers. So I'll go through the trends with you. And so in terms of the report, I want to make it, so when we say something, the supply, I want to give you bear with me. So I'll look at this data from January 2021 to July 2021. And we analyzed, this in terms of tech jobs, 1,917 job listings. So job listings are jobs that people bring into us. And look at the demand. There's 207 applications. So that's the demand. So the jobs are limited. There's a high demand for jobs, especially IT jobs, that are not there. When we look at from July, we had 775 job listings. That is employers looking for job, and the demand is 394,000 job applications. So this forms the basis of our analysis. So I'll share some industry trends with you, just to help you get some understanding. So in terms of this report, when we say supply is what the jobs that are currently available, and demand is the number of applications that we have. So in terms of supply and demand, IT was the second highest in terms of IT and telecoms, was the second highest supply and demand, which was at 11%, which was topped by manufacturing and warehouse, which was 15% during that time. So you can see that IT is always on the, especially, is the second highest before education, banking and finance and hospitality. And NGO and charity, unfortunately, was the least, which is around 4% of supply and demand during last year. And we come back to demand. Manufacturing was still top, so 23%, but IT was closely behind, with 11% of jobs being in high demand, where people were looking for IT and telecom jobs to apply for. So we look at the job trends, and these are the specific jobs. So in terms of IT and telecom, the specific jobs that people were looking for were in sales. And I know that young people tend to run away from sales because they feel like sales is target-driven, it's stressful. But if you look at it, sales is the highest supply in terms of employers looking for people within that sector. We have engineering and technology being in the 6th place, with 7% of jobs being around. We have software and data being in the 7th place with 6% of jobs. In terms of supply of jobs last year, between January 2021 to July 2021. So which job functions were the highest? Admin and office. So everybody wants an admin job, an office job. So they were the highest in terms of 19%, followed by accounting and auditing, then customer service and support, then sales. So this is what people are actually looking for. So these are not the jobs that the employer is looking, but the demand is what job seekers are technically looking for. And software and data was on the 9th with 4%, and engineering and technology was 4% also, ranking 10. So just to show you a little bit of data in terms of just a bit of graph for you to understand. So there are top 6 industries who were high in supply last year, and you can see IT telecom trending there. It became very popular. People were looking for engineers, people were looking for IT managers, people were looking for software developers with special skills to be able to help them make their business more technical savvy. So it was followed by manufacturing, banking and finance, education, and hospitality. In terms of demand, the 6 top jobs in demand also was manufacturing, which was still high, then followed by IT and telecom. So IT and telecom was following closely behind, but we anticipate that this year is going to increase because a lot of people are looking at ways and means to make their company more, how to adapt to technology and use technology in their organization, in their business. So over the last year, we said that sales recorded the highest number of vacancies. So if you're looking for jobs, a lot of the jobs were sales-related jobs, then followed by accounting and auditing jobs and marketing jobs. And we said that we found this trend interesting, but we felt that after COVID, most companies, some of the companies folded, some companies were still around and had to slash salaries to be able to pay employers. But after COVID, everybody was looking for salespeople to bring in revenue to make the business sustainable. So that accounts for sales being in high supply last year. So we talked about which job functions were also in high demand, and with admin and finance, followed by accounting, audit, finance, and customer service. So key insights. So looking at the trend from January 2021 to December 2021, IT telecom jobs were among the popular jobs on the Jobberman platform. So the industries with high demand of IT professionals, so the banking sector was looking for a lot of IT, insurance, hospitality, healthcare, education, e-commerce, and mining and energy. So we put a couple of jobs, current jobs on the Tech Fair website. So we've linked these jobs. Currently, jobs for software, we have 30 jobs for software and data currently that we are looking for. And engineering, we have 37 jobs. So if you have access to the data, you click on it, it will take you to the application and you can apply for jobs. But these are trending jobs right now that we have, popular tech-related jobs on our platform. And you can also go out there if you're having any challenges. We have a booth there and someone will be able to help you to apply for these jobs. So the last but not the least, I want to talk about IT people are usually technological savvy, but they always forget the soft skill side, which is very important because employers look at what you also bring on the table. So you can be very good, but you need to have great communication skills. You need to be very organized. You need to be very analytical. You need to have project management skills, problem solving, and you need to be resourceful. So it's not only about the IT, but employers also look at soft skills where you fit into their organization and where you can also do well, because you can go into a job and you know the technical stuff, but you need to be able to fit in for the company to be able to keep you for a long time. So we felt that it was good to emphasize that, yes, IT jobs are around, but you need to also work on the soft skill to make sure that you are employable. So yes, so join us now. This is our site. You can go to www.jobberman.com.gh and sign up as a job seeker and start looking for your next IT job, and we are sure that you'll find something that you like. So thank you very much.
So much. Please put your hands together once again for Hilda Nimo Tieku, who's the CEO of Jobberman Ghana. And now we move on to a conversation which is really important, which is remote delivery tech jobs in Ghana. As we found out during the pandemic period, remote work was a very big deal, and obviously it's something that we need to look into. As we move beyond the pandemic, it's obvious that we need to consider what else is possible on the horizon and how we can take full advantage of the many tech jobs that are in demand today. I'm sure you would know that today you can sit in Ghana, sit in Kumasi, sit in Takrady, or anywhere else around the world and basically outsource your services to any employer anywhere, and you will get paid for it, because that is the power of a connected world. And so to speak to us on remote delivery tech jobs in demand, we have the HR manager for GIBT joining us right about now. And please put your hands together and let's hear it for Angel Wale Adeyemi.
Good morning, everyone. I'm standing on all existing protocol. My name is Angel Wale Adeyemi, HR manager for GIBT Get Innotized. GIBT Get Innotized was founded about 5 years ago, basically to bridge the skill deficit in the African continent in order to upskill young talents and ensure that they are able to compete globally with talents around the world. And our vision is to create 10,000 jobs by 2025. Not only are we saying that we want to create 10,000 jobs by 2025, but we intend to make 90% of those jobs remote. Big question is, how do you do this? You recall a couple of years back, the number of people who started working from home actually rose from 2009 up till now, it has increased by 159%. That is the number of people that work from their house. And according to the Global Workplace Analytics, about 16% of the companies worldwide are actually remote. Talking to the employees, we actually found out that 77% of employees say that they are more productive when they work from their house. And so, how then are we able to bridge this divide? Saying that we need to upskill these talents and put them into jobs. And that was why we gave birth to Azubi Africa. Azubi Africa is our upskilling program. It's our academy program where we upskill students both in the clouds and in data science. It's a 12-week intensive program, and just like we would have perceived, tech skills are beginning to be high on demand, and in order to compete favorably, you need to empower yourself, upskill with relevant skills. Now, why did we decide to take this path? In order for individuals to actually settle in remote jobs, they need remote experience to function appropriately. And that was why our academy decided for Azubi Africa, the training is going to be 100% remote. We have candidates and learners from Kenya, we have from Rwanda, we have from Ghana here, and we have the Pan-African cohort. And the last Pan-African cohort, we had about 18 countries in attendance. Remote jobs and their delivery. Some people would wonder what are the skills required for delivery in remote jobs, how is it possible? We talk about the technical education, digital literacy. It has been said time and again that in order for you to deliver, one of the things that have actually fueled remote work condition is the advent of technology, the rise of technology. One of the things as individuals who want to settle in a remote work is to get the relevant technical skills, especially in the ICT industry. And so that is one of the things that we decided to do with Azubi Africa, creating these technical skills. And we have partners, education partners. We have AWS as our partner in education in the clouds, and we have Microsoft as our education partner in data science. And also, Hilda mentioned something during her presentation, and she did mention that it's not only about technical skills. In order for you to actually excel as a remote worker, it's not just about having your certification and having these skills. And that is why we also have a career center that helps you to hone the skills. Because as a remote worker, aside from your technical skills, you have to have excellent oral and verbal communication. Because we know that sometimes because we work in a house, there's bound to be a little divide, a little distraction. You don't want to check out on your colleagues the way you would if you were in the office space. But then with strong oral and verbal communication, you're able to bridge this divide, and that is why you actually learn the art of email writing, messaging apps, project management programs. You also have video conferencing apps that help us to hone the skills. I remember a scenario where one of our young ones, one of our candidates, a very skilled young man at that, had the challenge of sending or communicating to his superiors. His superior says, "Dear X, how are you? Could you kindly send this document by 9 a.m.? And he replies, "KK." Yes, and that is because he has the technical skills, but then he doesn't have the soft skills to complement. So at our career center, would help you through honing those soft skills, and also a Siri clinic. What we did with that young man, and because we have a mentorship program as well, we took him through a short course. Okay, this is how you go through your communication, email communication, text messaging. App could be less formal, but for emails, you have to remain formal. We also talk about empathy. As remote workers, you would have the very rare privilege of meeting people across different continents, across different cultures, across different backgrounds. You also have to ensure that respect is key. From Azubi Africa, where we get to upskill and train young talents in order to get into remote jobs, and our career center that helps you to transition into these jobs. We have a team of engineers who, right from 2017, have been delivering products to German clients, over 100 of clients that we have at the moment. And so aside from these skills, technical skills, soft skills, hands-on experience is also very relevant as a remote worker. And that is what we offer also as an organization. So our engineers are on hand to take our ZUB graduates through hands-on experience, and then we'll translate them and transform them into client projects, and they have been delivering. Coming from our vision of creating 10,000 jobs by 2025 and ensuring that 90% of this job remains remote, and also helping to hone the soft skills, we have realized that we are diverse by way of our flexibility and our remote work condition, bound by technology and respect, because what connects me in Ghana to someone else in Malawi and someone else in the US is technology. And the fact that I respect boundaries such as time zone, I respect boundaries such as religious tolerance, it binds us together, and this helps us to deliver world-class people. In the last couple of years, ZUB Africa has delivered over 1,000 certified learners with our program, recording 75% of those learners getting into jobs in the first 6 months after certification. And then we also conducted a poll, and we discovered 85% learner satisfaction of our programs. We also have these jobs here, some vacant roles available. I have Gertrude and Kese at the booth who will be glad to attend to you. We have some remote jobs. We have an in-house consultant. This role is basically to give support to the leadership team of the organization. Good news is that it is remote, and you can deliver on it. We also have the data science trainer position, which we also have the requirements and qualifications with Kese and Gertrude at our booth. Good news again, it is 100% remote. Should you want to find out more about us, or you also want to find out how to get into ZUB Africa to deliver your part while working remote, you can always speak with me. I'll be glad to answer your questions, or should you need clarification. Thank you once again for having me.
Thank you so much, Angel. Please keep it going for Angel. And Angel will be available after this plenary session for any questions. It's now time for us to hear a bit about emerging technologies. What is on the horizon? How can we understand what's available and even take advantage of it? Our next speaker is the Managing Director of WASP Onyx, Grant Weber.
Good morning, all. I start with a question, and the winner gets a job with me immediately. If you had to guess, what would be the #1 skill I hire for? Hands up, and the first one with the right answer, you're going to be a winner.
I have the microphone here. Who wants a job?
Just shout out, what is the #1 skill that I hire for?
Who wants a job?
You've heard Hilda, you've heard them speaking about the things that they look for, all the surveys they've done. What's the #1 skill I look for?
Analytical. Analytical.
Okay. Wrong.
Sorry.
Shout out, please.
Good communication.
Well done, sir. What is your name? You come and look for me afterwards. You might have got yourself a job. It begins and ends for me with attitude. I'm framing my discussion today around emerging technologies because it's exciting. I think it's a good time to be young. It's a good time to be in tech in Ghana. You know, I started my business here 9 years ago, and there was no startup environment, there were no innovation centers, there were no incubators at all. There was no support, there was no ecosystem for the entrepreneur or the young techie with skills looking for a market for those skills. A lot has changed in the last few years, luckily. However, at the end of the day, not much has changed either. Whether it's old technologies, if you look at the bottom of my screen, I started my business leasing equipment and print management, software that goes on printers in the office. That is very old technology, right? The same attitude that I require from my team, whether you're a technician or a salesperson in a very boring leasing business, hardware mostly, or in our fantastic Tier 4 data center here in Ghana, which is the only one in Africa outside of South Africa, I come back to it. Nothing much changes. If you don't approach me with the right attitude to be a part of my team, and you will not be working with me, you join my team, I don't care how clever you are and how many buttons you can click, you will not be a part of my team. And I think if you listen to any leaders, whether it be Bill Gates of old, Satya Nadella, who leads the new Microsoft, or any of the big tech firms or the small guys in Silicon Valley, they will all come back and tell you, you've got to be clever, you've got to be able to do things. But if you don't have a healthy attitude, you're not going to find a place. So for me, that's the genesis of it all. We are lucky, as I said, to be young and involved in tech in Ghana. We are. Data centers, which forms very much the heart and soul of our business going forward. We are now empowered to provide cloud-based services which we could not before. We can host off-site data in Ghana, which was not entirely possible before. The law has changed that says a lot of data needs to be housed in Ghana and can't leave the sovereignty of Ghana. So that assists us with a market. So it is exciting. If you could go to my last slide, please. A number of these sectors have been touched on by the previous speakers. And within reason, I have team members that have got skills which embrace all of the hard applications that are on this list. But really, once I've received a CV from someone, I put it away. I scan through it to make sure that I know the person's name, and that's about all. And then for the rest, it becomes a hurdle race for that applicant, that potential team member, within my team environment. And it's a team interview, a panel, and it takes many months to join our team. It's not 1 or 2 interviews and you have a job. It becomes a process of many months to join our team. We have such a diverse portfolio of solutions that we sell in Ghana that the reality is I can probably find a technical person now in Ghana for everything that we do. But again, the reality is that for every tech job in my ecosystem, probably 9 other jobs are not tech. So the messaging that I would put out to all of you today is in the emerging technologies environment, I wouldn't only focus on how good you are at programming, because I don't need any programmers in my business. It's all cutting-edge technology, and yet we use low to no code. So all you have to do is drag and drop. You don't have to be able to do Java to do a lot of the design work that we do. So it's really understanding how platforms are around, aggregator platforms that allow us to use software where we don't have to code, as an example. We would understand how a business workflow design happens, and their coding might assist you to some extent. The previous two ladies spoke about soft skills. And yes, that is what the textbook calls it. It's a soft skill. But for me as a business owner, that is the hardest skill of all. There's nothing soft about it. Attitude first and foremost. And what does that mean? I look for people that can solve problems, because every single day we have problems. From the minute I wake up at 4 a.m., I am dealing with problems. And I need my team to be able to take the load off me so that I'm focused on 2 or 3 big problems a day. I cannot solve 100 small problems. So who in my team has the ability, the cognitive ability, the creativity to think about how to solve a problem? It's the usual thing. Don't come to me with the problem, come with not the solution, because again, very seldom in my 9 years in Ghana has my plan A been the one that works. Where's your plan B? Where's your plan C? So it's often within the constraints that we operate in. We don't have all the information at our fingertips. You have to make decisions. And in the world we live in today, our customers require immediate decisions and answers. You are often making decisions without all of the information at your fingertips. So the analytics, your ability to analyze a situation, make your best judgments at times, and knowing that you are going to make mistakes. So we, again, in terms of our emerging technologies, our framework and our training is almost always guided by the so-called soft skills, the hardest skills of all. We also don't try and reinvent the book. We draw on frameworks which are out there. We draw, and I would encourage any of you that read to read the book by Ray Dalio, Principles. And he focuses heavily on honesty and transparency in the workplace. How do you handle criticism? How do you handle peer review, which typically is very hard? So again, in an emerging technologies framework, we are so lucky to be young and in tech in Ghana. Don't worry if you are not top of the class in coding. I don't think that's the most important thing. Understand the ecosystem of technology. There were graphs up there, the stats about admin jobs, finance roles, sales. And for me, it's all about, can you sell? Can you find a problem at a customer and understand which of our software tools is the solution? If you're in our logistics team delivering stuff on time, you're a tech. You're a techie. But you might be on a motorbike delivering something, but you're a techie. Keeping my customers happy. So I say to you, we're lucky, but don't be myopic. Don't just focus on how many buttons you can click. Think about the so-called soft skills. And I finish by saying they are the hardest of all. Thank you.
And the only speaker today to give out a free job. Thank you so much, Grant Weber, for that very salient insights that you gave us. If you're still tuned in, this is 97.3 City FM. We're coming to you from the Accra International Conference Center. This is, of course, a time very important in our nation's history when we speak technology. We are at the Tech Job Fair 2022 on the theme, Connecting Your Tech Skills with the Right Businesses in the Fast-Growing ICT Sector. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for us to hear a conversation or a speech on ICT capacity building, the perspective of the German Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Joining us on stage now is the delegates of the German Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Ghana to speak to us on this particular topic. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Breakout Hellerman onto the stage. Please keep it going as he joins us on the stage. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, everybody. Dear organizers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, participants from the tech community here in Ghana. My name is Breakout Hellerman. I'm the head of the, we call it Delegation of German Industries. You could also compare that with the Chamber of Commerce from the German companies here in Ghana, with a certain responsibility on West African countries in the region. And I fear that inviting me to this event as a speaker, you have not chosen the best person. Because when I went to Senegal on Sunday, and I came back yesterday, I was busy at least for one day to organize my smartphone, how to connect myself to the world outside. And to be honest with you, I was a little bit lost. So I'm not a good example for you. So I will keep myself rather short this morning. But, you know, I finally found solutions when I was in Dakar, because I have a good team behind me, and they were very supportive in sorting out the problems that the wonderful speaker just in front of me mentioned. ICT capacity building for German companies. Looking at the 50, 60, maybe 70 companies, German companies here in Ghana, I think the best advice I can give to you is, after this plenary discussion, to go out to the different booths outside. I just saw and welcomed Bosch Power Tools being present here, Get Innotized. These are members of our German delegation here in Ghana. Go out and speak with them in order to find out what are their needs. Because you can read a lot of books, which is important, no doubt. But if you want to target the needs of the company, those who provide you later on with jobs, speak with companies. And don't ask, please, oh, please sir, please madam, do you have a job for me? No. Ask, what are your needs now and in the next years? I think this is very crucial. I can experience that one again and again every day in my interactions with ministries, with governmental institutions, sometimes even with young entrepreneurs or with students. Here I am, I want to be employed. Here I am, I want to have that project with you. Here I am, I want to enter into this cooperation with you. Please, no. Ask for the needs of the companies and how you might work on your own in order to better match now or in future to these needs of the companies. Because the companies, they have a simple target, a simple objective. They certainly have to bring revenue on board, and they need your skills, your soft skills, your hard skills, whatever you might call that. They have to as well reach their objectives with your skills. So please read books, study a lot, try many things in the internet and outside the internet, but don't forget as well to ask those who might one day need your skills, what are the necessary tools, what are the necessary skills. I think this is crucial. Looking at the German companies here in Ghana, there are some few IT companies, pure IT companies, where you might then bring your tech skills on board. There are many others who do not necessarily only deal with tech skills, but also need other skills and want you to bring them on board. So please, after this conference, go outside to the different booths, ask the companies what is needed now and what is needed in the next 5 to 10 years. This is, I think, a good preparation for you as well to find either a job in the future, or if you already have your business, to see and discuss with them where are common grounds, where can we come together, where are common projects in future. I would like to wish all of you highly interesting discussions, inputs, sharings, and hope that all of us are going to learn a lot today. Once again, my congratulations for the organizers, the main organizers of this conference, for having brought us this morning together in order to tackle this very, very important topic, digitalization, ICT in Ghana and beyond. Thank you very much. All the best for all of us.
Center that you have resource persons that can be there to make sure that the interests of the children are sustained, where we will run a constant program.
We have the opportunity
in order
to transfer all these experiences,
sustain coding, we need to create awareness, and after you have created awareness, you need to scale it up. The people that are going to benefit from it, then after scaling up, certainly you have to concentrate on sustaining it.
We want to say a big thank you for coming. We look forward to having you back. This time around, it should be us showing results of the things that we have discussed today. It will be good for us to come back again, maybe a year from now, and actually talking about success stories. Things that we've been able to do from the decisions that
I welcome you all to this Stakeholders workshop organized by IIPGH in partnership with its sponsor, Code for Africa from Leipzig, Germany.
Indeed, we started a journey beginning of this year, and we are very happy to announce that we've done a very good job, and today will be the day that we showcase what we have done and also discuss areas that we can create sustainable opportunities.
The main intervention in this project was to train trainers of trainers who are going to be multipliers in their various communities, wherever in their various institutions.
One of the main issues that have been going on recently is to focus or to re-look at the future of work and how to place our young ones or our kids. For this reason, we are saying that the 21st century skills and emerging technologies such as coding, robotics. We hear about people doing robotics every day, but we do not really focus on what it is or what it can do for us. Artificial intelligence, mobile applications, etc. are all important in today's field of work and even in our societies, our communities.
We started with a coding caravan. We started from our hub back in August, and we had to go to our hub. We used our hub. We went to Adenta, and then again to Ho to do all of this. So we watch briefly snippets of that video, and then I'll come in briefly.
11th of October is celebrated worldwide as the International Day of the Girl Child, and it's a special day to recognize girls and also empower them.
In the 21st century, the coding and things related to ICT, developing of apps is very critical for national development.
I want to share how important this program has been in my school. I started with only my students, but later on, the community joined in. That is why we had 2 sessions.
So I say this to underpin the fact that what you guys are doing here, we 30 years ago, 40 years ago, couldn't have dared to dream. You are opening a whole new avenue for them. You are creating the next future leaders and the next technicians and the next programmers. And you know, in many places like Google, if you can program, whether you learned it on the street or not, you could get a job. Programming is a skill. If you have a skill, you get a job.
And so if we should have any opportunity, is to ensure that the future is changed for the younger ones. Now, if we compare ourselves to other countries, then you realize that we are lost in the ocean.
What is happening with what has happened in the world is that there is an equal playing field now. Africa missed out on the first industrial revolution. We missed out on the second industrial revolution. What do we produce? At best, we assemble. We missed out on the third industrial revolution, and the fourth industrial revolution has suddenly leveled the playing field.
We identified that human resource is going to be a greater challenge. We also identified that logistics is very important, which is also a hindrance right now.
We need to have centers in communities, especially in the cities and the district capitals, where we can have some sort of a center that we have resource persons that can be there to make sure that the interests of the children are sustained, where we will run a constant program.
In order to sustain coding, we need to create awareness. And after you have created awareness, you need to scale it up. And by scaling it up, it means expanding the user base or the people that are going to benefit from it. Then after scaling up, certainly you have to concentrate on sustaining it.
We want to say a big thank you for coming. We look forward to having you back. This time around, it should be us showing results of the things that we have discussed today. It will be good for us to come back again maybe a year from now and actually talking about success stories, the things that we've been able to do from the decisions that we've taken from this particular workshop.
And we indeed are back here about a year from then, having these very pertinent conversations. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome onto the stage.
I welcome you all to this stakeholders workshop.
A very special lady who will be speaking to us on a very important topic. But then before we do that, if you are hearing the sound of my voice and you are not here at the Accra International Conference Center, you're tuned in to 97.3 City FM, where we're bringing you live coverage of the Tech Job Fair 2022. We've had some very riveting speeches, but then one of the most important parts of today's event is the actual job fair that's happening in the foyer of the Accra International Conference Center. So if you are doing the listening right now, if you are here in the auditorium, please take notes that the job fair proper, the job fair itself, is actually going to be going on in the auditorium. And so it's important that when you go out there, you do have those relevant conversations. Find out what sort of value you can give to these businesses, what sort of value they are looking for, and how you can have a bit of a synergy or a connection point. Coming up next onto the stage is the Chief Human Resource Officer of MTN Ghana. She is going to be speaking to us. She's our guest speaker for today. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please, with a round of applause, help me welcome onto the stage Mrs. Ama Bene Ampontam.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad he had his mask on. I was wondering if I had to come up with it or not. But let me start off firstly by wishing the entire tech community within the ICT space and the Institute a happy anniversary. This year, we are celebrating big time, and I'm glad we are starting off with initiatives and events like this. I was reached out to by David to have a chat with the community that will be attending the program today. And I asked, what is the scope? And he indicated there's a job fair, and beyond the job fair, we have other people who will be speaking in here. So if you can share something. I said, I have a lot of learnings, a lot of mistakes that I've made, and if you would permit me, that's something I would want to chat on in this session. So that's hopefully what I'm going to share in here, as well as people I've observed in the industry and experiences that I've had with people in the industry that I believe continue to shape how the industry is evolving, especially from a people perspective. I like proverbs. I like African proverbs, and every slide I'll try and link it to an African proverb that I know. I think the first one is smooth seas do not make skillful sailors. And what I've experienced and what I've realized, and from personal learning, is that we usually go into the job search or go into the space looking for work focused on our CVs and focus on the certificates that we have on our CVs. So most people are showing up with CVs that have a long list of qualifications and a long list of things that people have acquired or individuals have acquired based on courses they've taken, etc. Rarely are we seeing things like the skills that they are bringing to the table. But like the previous speakers rightly indicated, people want to know how you are going to make a difference, what you are going to do differently for them, what you are going to say to them, what are you going to do that will make a difference in the organizations and what you bring to the table. And it's extremely important that the practical learning or the practical knowledge comes to bear when we go into the job search phase, and also throughout the entire process as we go through, even when we join organizations, we try to make a deliberate effort to showcase our true skills beyond just the certificates that we join our organizations with. I think one of the previous speakers rightly indicated that when you go out there and you get to the booth, tell them how you are going to make a difference to them, and not just, this is the qualification I hold, this is the certificate I hold, and because of that, this is what I can do for you. The next one is agility, adaptability, and the ability to deal with change. Interestingly, there's an industry that is moving extremely quickly. So what is good yesterday is no longer good tomorrow, nor good today. So, and with that comes with a particular skill set to be able to cope. It can be frustrating, I must say, but the need to learn to adapt, the need to learn to be a lot more agile in how we approach things. And the most important things, you actually need this for survival. It's not just a nice to have or a good skill to show, but you need to survive in this industry, because without it, there is no way you can actually make any relevance or be relevant in this industry. I've put a proverb there that says, a crawling child learns to stand. Okay, by crawling, a child learns to stand, sorry. And what this means is that you need to be ready to do something different. You need to try and evolve yourself a bit to be ready for the workspace and to survive in the industry that we find ourselves in. Next is on collaboration and empathy. The previous speaker indicated the need to know what the customer wants and be able to provide support to your customer. I think technology in itself is meant to enable our lives and to solve problems for us. And by doing that, you need to truly understand what's your users' challenges. And without understanding what your users' challenges, there is no way you can solve the problem through technology for the person. And I think with that fundamentally comes the need to be empathetic to the person that you are trying to create the solution for. Also, what I've realized in the workplace specifically is that people who come to the workplace with some care about the user, solving the user's problem, tend to learn more about the business, because you don't just stay in your tech space alone, but you try to know why this other part of the business, be it the logistics, be it the commercial, etc., why they need what they need and how you can solve their problem. And by doing that, fundamentally, you're empathizing with the person out there. It is not just lingua you understand alone, and you're able to customize your solution to the audience that you are trying to serve. The next point I have here is on communicating to position technology company-wide for success. And I find this extremely interesting because what I've realized is that typically people come in and they tell you, this is why I'm here to do this for you, but how this would help you is rarely, messaged out there. And some of the tech people that I've interacted with and who have helped solve problems either in the workspace or even in the personal space have been able to show you how. And we have people who are also entrepreneurs in this room as well, going in for that contract, going in for that gig, trying to sell what you do. It is not just about why you need it, but how that will enable what you do and how that will bring value to what you currently do. The ability to try and adjust your own understanding, okay, and be a lot more agile with your own understanding around it and care. I think the empathy bit comes in here again, to break down the complex problems to everyday language for the people you are trying to interact with, be it the customer you are trying to sell something to or the ecosystem within your workspace that you need to engage, becomes extremely important. And what I've realized that it also makes the lives of tech people much easier. I work in a space where I interact with a lot of tech people, and it can be frustrating for them as well. Or when they realize that they are trying to put something across, they have a good intent with what they are trying to do, but really nobody seems to understand me. And it's mainly because we are more focused on saying it in the way we want to say it, trying to do it the way we understand it, rather than looking at how do I message it in a manner, and how do I break it down in a manner that brings value to people. There's an interesting African proverb that says that just because the lizard nods its head does not mean it's in agreement. Okay, so typically you go into these meetings and everybody is going like this, and you feel everybody's head and the understanding is not there. So you walk away and there's no take for you. Be the entrepreneur looking for the business or the person trying to sell that strategy to a leadership team to buy into. It's extremely important that we bring this down a bit. I remember when I joined my organization, everything was so far-fetched. I didn't understand the basic things. And there was a young engineer, then national service, and I called him. I said, every Tuesday, let's sit and take me through, what you do and why it is. Basic things from base stations to let me try and understand how this works. And what I liked about his approach, and the reason why I chose him, was the way he was able to break things down, bring it to the lowest level. If I tell you where he is from a career perspective now, you'll be amazed, okay? But I think that is, anybody who interacts with this individual, that's what they say about him. The fact that he's able to bring it to the lowest level, make you understand why it's supposed to happen and why you need this for that to happen. I think it's extremely important. We've had a lot of our soft skills, etc., throughout the day, that we care about how we do some of these things. Next one is cultural adaptability. I think this is becoming extremely, extremely important. If you go into almost all the search engines that we have now, work search engines, everybody is, you can sit in Ghana and get jobs remotely and do the jobs remotely. And you are interacting with people sit in different parts of the world and are telling you that I'm interested in your skill if you have the skill to offer. But what I think we need to work at a bit more is layering what is required to serve this audience that is very different from us. To actually be valuable to this larger opportunity that we have, to have access to work and to have access to businesses and to contracts and to gigs beyond the borders of Ghana. I think it's extremely important that how we truly understand the cross-cultural perspectives matter. It's also important that we're able to communicate in a manner that is also reflective of not just what your comfort zone is, but people beyond your comfort zone can also understand. He who never moves about appreciates only one's mother's cookery skill. It's a proverb that we have in Africa. Okay. And what that means is that until you start exploring, seeing what opportunities are out there, what you know is what you know, and that's what you are comfortable with. The world is at your feet now as ICT professionals. You can access anything and anywhere in the world now. Go on LinkedIn today, and there are more roles for ICT professionals than you find for any other roles. The beauty of it is that these roles also do not restrict you to your country. So it gives you opportunities to look beyond, even whilst you are in your country, to provide support beyond your space. And it's extremely important that this whole idea of being able to adapt to different ways, different styles, different thinking, and different cultures becomes extremely important on this journey. Next one is understanding your business's purpose and being able to offer productive solutions. Your business's purpose is not just because you work for somebody. Sometimes your own job, your own business, knowing why you exist and why you do what you do becomes extremely important for how you move forward. And it also helps you provide solutions that add true value to the people you are trying to serve out there. We hear a lot about strategic thinking and critical thinking. I think it's come up in some of the sessions already. I like to simplify it and say that being able to think that way from a strategy perspective, understanding the purpose of the business that you run or you belong to, and actually putting in actions to improve this. I think the previous speaker touched on this clearly. And that is truly what strategic thinking is about. Okay, and wherever you find yourself, regardless of the organization, the level that you find yourself in the organization, etc., being able to do this, applying yourself differently, becomes extremely valuable. The next one is critical thinking. And for me, I keep saying the ability to think on your feet, the ability to make informed decisions during diverse situations becomes extremely important for you. And the minute you are able to step outside of your comfort zone and think about things a bit from the outside looking in, you help solve problems for yourself, and if you are in employment, for your employers as well. And don't worry about where you sit in the business. Typically, we say that for people to be strategic, they have to be operating at the strategic level, etc. Wherever you find yourself in the business, you can be strategic. Wherever you find yourself in the business, you can add value. Wherever you find yourself in the business, you can contribute to the purpose of that business. And there's this interesting proverb: if you think you are too small to make a difference, you haven't spent a night with a mosquito. I think those of us in environments where we have mosquitoes, we should know how this feels like, okay? Wherever you are, you can touch lives and you can make a difference. Let's try and focus on that. Next one is having a balanced level of curiosity and humility. And that was the best way I could put it. I tried to look for other ways to couch this, but it's about the best way I could put it. And what I mean by this, and it also came up in the earlier speakers' discussion as well, asking for help when it's needed, offering suggestions when you think it's required, keeping an open mind, okay, in what you do. It's not always about a fixed position, and this is where I sit. Acknowledging your mistakes, extremely important. And for our industry, what I've realized is that the nature of our work itself lends itself to want to iterate, do it differently, do things that may not solve the problem of the user, things that the user may have something in mind, but because you're not able to capture it a particular way, or he or she could not articulate it a particular way, it comes out differently. How do you deal with that? How do you acknowledge that? How do you accept that and learn from it? Extremely important. And knowing how to react to difficult situations. Okay. When things get difficult, it's being resilient, showing strength about some of these things. And most importantly, learning from the experience becomes important on your career journey. To get lost is to learn the way. The minute you find yourself in another space, you learn something from it, you become better at it. Keep learning and unlearning, extremely important. And I'll start with unlearning first. Sometimes you may be the guru in where you find yourself today. You come to the ICT career fair today, you get an offer for a new job, you move into a new space. The minute you get there, you were the guru in your previous organization, you get here and things have to look different. How do you unlearn what you are used to, and how do you learn in that new space? That is it's a cultural adaptability thing that we indicated earlier. Actually, and sometimes unlearning is not even just on the professional side. Sometimes even personal things that we bring to the workspace that we have to unlearn. Okay, I keep saying we all grew up in spaces, and most ICT professionals, everybody here was an A student in school, right? Because you have to be an A student to do tech and engineering and all these science-related courses and technology-related courses. So we are used to always getting the A's, being the top of the class, doing the best. Okay, and you get to a space where you have to unlearn that, not because you are not the best any longer, but you have to try to adapt to a different environment, how things get done. Okay, and it's extremely, extremely important that you are conscious of these things and you see it as a learning curve for you going into the future. Continuous learning is extremely important, not because we find ourselves in an industry where it requires continuous learning, but it's even good for personal growth. Okay, I keep saying the beauty of growth is that what you were yesterday, you are no longer that way today. Every day we learn something different that adds to us and makes us better. And sometimes in the workplace, the people who appear to be criticizing you the most are the people that, if you actually go in with a positive mindset, are the people that you look back on with a lot of gratitude to down your career. Because you realize that even if it was done in a way that I didn't like, or it was done in a way that appeared negative, it's still a learning curve for you, and it's still something that makes you better from a personal perspective and from a career perspective. Once again, to my proverbs, knowledge is a garden. If it isn't cultivated, it can't be harvested. Okay, let's try hard to keep learning. And by learning, it's not just going to sit in a classroom or going for training, etc. I think the internet offers us so much. There's so much to read out there. And learning also comes from peers. Sometimes you walk into the workspace and you realize that this colleague reacts and behaves this way, and it's admirable. And I think it's the person able to get results through this approach. How do I learn? Or you even go for a contract with a client, and the way the client positions things or even asks questions, the sort of questions that are coming through to you, gets you start thinking about things differently. It's all part of the learning process, and it's important that we take advantage of these nuggets and make the most out of them. Finally, care about having mentors and coaches, regardless of where you find yourself. And the reason why I say this is, once again, I'll defer to a proverb that we have locally that says, having a good discussion is like having riches. There is no better value than speaking to somebody who's done it before, or somebody who's doing it differently from what you are doing now, and you have something to learn from that person. And seeking guidance, getting an unbiased view. The beauty of having a mentor and coach is that the person has no interest. There's no hidden agenda. So you actually get it as it should be, and you're able to choose what you think brings value to you. Learn from the experiences of others. You don't always have to repeat or learn, make the mistake before you learn from it. Sometimes the people ahead of us have taken a certain approach, it didn't work, or it didn't give them the overall results. And once they're able to share with you and you're able to learn from it, it does help us as well. Take advantage of experienced individuals. And fortunately, the industry is a community on its own. Okay, we have a shared passion for specific things. Let's leverage that for value. Let's not meet just because we are an institute or we are an association and just go. Okay, let's use it to bring value to ourselves. Let's use it to identify. And your mentors don't always have to be people on top of you or ahead of you. Sometimes you even need a peer mentor, somebody on a similar level as you, but doing something different that you can learn from. How do you do that? So I would end the discussion by saying that I don't use the word soft skills, but we've realized in recent times that behaviors make a difference when it comes to the workplace, when it comes to doing our own businesses, when it comes to shaping the future and the purpose that we want. And it's extremely important that as tech people, we can even congregate and discuss these things. I think that in itself is a start for us, and it's a beautiful start for us to experience. Let's not take it for granted. Let's for the many speakers who shared, I realize everybody is touching on behaviors. Let's leverage the learnings for our value. And for those of us who will be actually participating in the career fairs out there, let's pick cues from some of these things, apply them positively to our lives, and I can guarantee you that the sky is your limit. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Amma Bene Amponsa. Thank you. Please keep it going for her. Now, there are so many things that are going to be happening today at the Tech Job Fair 2022. We are going to be hearing from one of my personal heroes and one of the heroes of the tech space in Ghana. But then we're going to have a breakout session after what we are doing here. One of them will be happening here, and then we have 2 other meeting rooms where the conversations will continue. The breakout sessions, the first batch will happen between 12:30 and 2 p.m. And we will be looking at tech skills development. We'll also be looking at tech entrepreneurship and then tech careers and soft skills, which has become one of the main themes of today's conversation. So we are going to be having one of them in here and then 2 in the other room. So if you're doing the listening as well on 97.3 City FM, please take note that you can come in and be a part of the discussion. Then the afternoon session for today will run from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And the main topic we'll be discussing will be industry, academia, tech dialogue. The theme will be critical ICT skills required to access tech jobs. Once again, between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m., we will have an industry, academia, tech dialogue on the theme critical ICT skills required to access tech jobs. But now, let us please give a warm round of applause to one of my personal heroes, one of the heroes of the tech space in Ghana. He's a president of Academic City University College Board. He's also the board chair of IIPGH. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome onto the stage Professor Fred McBagonlori. One of the most practical tech people I've ever met in my life. Please put your hands together once again for Prof.
Oh boy, that was some introduction. Is this still morning or afternoon? Still morning. Good morning. I am very excited to be here to wrap these sessions up. I have been with IIPG now for the last 5 years. When nobody had confidence in what they were trying to do, I stood up with them and with many others to make today possible. And for you, the job seekers and students out there, let me say this is the best time in history to be alive. As I sat back there listening to all these speakers, I'm wondering what I could have done with my life 30 years ago if I had access to this level of information. So as I took my notes to wrap this up, I kept thinking attitude. Nobody hires you because you're just an Einstein. An Einstein that cannot work with others will not bring value to any business. Your attitude is important. It can take you places up, and it can take you places down. You are hired to bring value to an organization. So when I heard the speaker say, go out there and speak to the companies, put your value proposition on the table, and then you can become matchmakers. You know, when I first got my job, fresh out of college, going to work for Siemens, it was a week after 9/11. The planes were not flying, but Siemens was able to get me to New Jersey. How they did that, I still don't know, but I flew. And as I walked through the manufacturing plant, I'd never seen anything like that before, but I was asking curious questions. I was taking widgets, taking a look at them. I was expressing interest and enthusiasm in the job. And then I got that great moment that I tell my students never to miss. That moment when they ask you, do you have any questions for us? And many of you walk away saying, no, I don't. Thank you very much. Well, you just lost that job. That is your moment. When that interviewer says, do you have any questions for me? So I turned around, looked at him straight in the face, and said, we've been speaking for the last hour. Based on what you've heard from me, is there any doubt in your mind that I can do this job? And he looked me straight in the eye and said, no, I have no doubts. And I leaned in once again and I said, are you sure? And he said, yes, absolutely. I said, very well. So where do we go from here? So listen, I was closing the deal. So he looks at me and he says, I'm going to Germany tomorrow, but by Monday you'll hear from me. And then when I got to the airport, I got a call from him saying, you have the job. What do you think? And the rest is history. So you walk in with a good attitude, you walk in and build relationships, you walk in and you get mentors, you work in and you prove yourself. And I made sure that every day I was at work at 6 before my boss came in, and I left at 6 when he was gone. And in 4 years, I was Director for Research and Development because he found value in me as a strategic partner. So when he moved up, he needed somebody to move up with him. And today I'm here putting some of the experiences that I got to work. So your attitude, if it stinks, it's not going to take you anywhere. A positive attitude will take you good places. You have to be a strategic thinker. Nobody hires you because you're tall, cute, handsome, or you have long hair or long fingernails. They hire you to deliver value. And once you stop delivering that value, you have no value for an organization. What was also interesting for me today is Professor Hemmel's discussion. Companies can bring value, you can create wealth for your stakeholders, while at the same time creating prosperity in a very ethical way for those who bring value to you. The world needs more kindness, more humanism, more empathy, and all these themes have been emphasized. But let me walk away by saying, again, that this is the best time in human history to be alive. Unfortunately, everything is not safe. Today, Ukraine is under attack. And I've been to Ukraine severally. A warm people, nice, excellent food, and what is happening should not be happening. And it is also our responsibility to go out there and impact lives, change the world, change hearts, change minds, and continue to drive progress for this continent and for the rest of the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prof. Well, we have one more conversation to wrap up this morning's session, and we're going to be hearing about the highlights of jobs in Ghana's ICT sector. This is a crucial conversation, obviously, because after this, you would better understand some of the job sectors that are available, or the jobs that are available in Ghana's ICT tech sector. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the CEO of the Ghana Investment for Electronics Communications, GIFEC, Mr. Prince Sefa, to speak to us on highlights of jobs in Ghana's ICT sector. And this conversation is important also as we head on to the breakout sessions, and then for those of you who will be speaking to those who have some employment and spaces available in the foyer. Prince, over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Are we still alive? Good afternoon. All right. Thank you all for coming in to listen to me. And that includes those that are online. We feel you, and we're very much feeling your presence. I am going to talk a little bit in bits, in part on GIFEC, because, you know, a lot of people don't know about GIFEC, so I thought I would use this opportunity to tell you about what we're up to, because it's also related to jobs, and then I'll speak in a bit of general terms as well. So that's the outline. Let's move. So I thought that we should remind ourselves about the so-called fourth industrial revolution and the fifth, which some people are already on. So we all know what, I think most of us here would know what the 4IR is, and we're working on it. But it's important that as a country, we do our best not to be left behind in the fourth, because I can tell you that many are moving on very much to the fifth, and the line is a bit blurry. So that's just a reminder for all of us to get on with it, and it's up to many of us to really make it happen through the advice we give, through the effort that we put in, and so on and so forth. Thank you. So just a little bit about, next, about GIFEC. So GIFEC has a vision to innovatively manage a universal access fund, collaboratively with our stakeholders to achieve universal access. That's universal access to digitization, and through the use of ICTs in Ghana. Now, we've implemented a few programs, so this is just to give you a little highlight. We don't have a whole lot of time for this, and this is not exactly the ultimate goal. But please understand that GIFEC, if you hear about GIFEC, these are some of the things we do. We do rural connectivity, capacity building, and our Cyber Labs program. These are our three main programs, which are very important, because remember, we're responsible as the agency for universal access. So in the telecom industry, of course, we have our service provider. You just heard from MTN and others. Those are key players in the industry, and we need them to continue to flourish for our telecom and ICTs to also flourish in the country. But within that are what we call gaps. Right? So we do have a digital divide or gaps that need to be filled. And government set up GIFEC some years ago, 17 years ago, to make sure that we bridge that divide that often happens because some are left behind. Those in our rural areas, for instance. There are also marginalized communities within or segments within our society, such as sometimes our girls, or our female population, that at times the technology adoption and the interest in that area is a bit below what we need. So GIFEC is there to make sure that we bridge those gaps. Next. So these are how we do these things. You can always look to get this presentation. Next, please. So again, we're building capacity out there. We have very specific programs. We have one that we do with ITU and NORAD, which is the Norwegian Agency for Development, and others. And these are very, very specific programs that we have and we continue to build on. Next. Our Cyber Labs. Very important. We work with institutions, our schools, and persons with certain physical and other challenges, and so on. So again, this is all towards achieving our mandates. Next. Now, so as I come towards the final part of my presentation, I thought that it's important that we remind ourselves about this concept. So you would probably would have heard that the Ministry of Communications, which is the supervising ministry for GIFEC, our agency, is now the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization. The whole concept, and this is something that I really want to share with all of us, of digitalization is one of strategic thinking, strategic planning. So you have digitization, and I think we all know for the most part what digitization is about. And we convert things, we apply tools, we apply technology to be able to change something from, let's say, a manual form to one that is digitized. But digitalization is one where we're looking at a strategic approach to using technology to create things, to create business, to start up business, to create new value, and so on within the ecosystem. So today, we all hear about what's going on with looking at e-this and e-that, all right? Because the world is becoming what e. And it's very important that we take this concept, as we advise ourselves, as we try to create value, we try to create wealth for ourselves, for our country, and so on and so forth, because in digitalization is strategy. In digitalization is value creation. It's in digitalization is value addition, and so on. So how do we move to the next level, right? We've heard about e-money. We've heard about, in some countries, I've actually written an article on e-tolling, and all these things that can, because remember, when we talk about taxation, for instance, all right, all those from the advanced world know that it needs to be progressive, it needs to be wide, so that you don't have a few, for instance, that are just, so hard-pressed to keep and get everybody, to come along, to develop the country, to grow the country, to advance. The more we widen the net, the more that we will have, the kind of accelerated growth that we need, the more we'll be able to lessen the burden on just a few, and so on and so forth. All these things come from digitalization. So let's think, let's read, let's research, let's benchmark, let's come up with ideas, let's write, let's share to advise ourselves and also to advise policymakers so that we can develop our country faster. So we need to go back. Yes, so in conclusion, I thought that we can look at, I didn't want to mention the usual jobs, and in the IT, it's very broad, and we say this is an IT professional. But I thought that in a bit in line with what Madam HR Director said, right? I just forgot the last name, sorry. Soft skills. You see that I actually, in this presentation, it was a bit last minute, but I wanted to highlight soft skills specially, interestingly. And I was amazed that so many people were talking about it, and this didn't come from any kind of pre-planning. And so I was sitting there and taking in the last set of speakers all talk about soft skills. It's crucial. So I wanted to look at opportunities from the standpoint of skill sets or skills, not specific jobs. As for jobs, you can name them, a developer, and so on and so forth. But I thought that these are some of the areas, and you will see that it's not all just engineering or STEM or science, but a lot of these things also come, or skills that I believe industry and those within the ecosystem are looking for. And the first one I had was on leadership. Okay, folks, don't think that because you're doing computer science and you got a first class, you have a job ready for you, and or you're in the job and you're going to be a top performer. Leadership is key. You need to demonstrate it. I've had someone sit in front of me and within 5 minutes, who was looking for a job, and I felt like I want to hire this person. Just because of what I heard and the way the person conducted himself, I felt something. And I said, I need to look for any opportunity I can to hire this person. You see, so you need to demonstrate. I've also had situations where someone comes in, let's say an intern, and where I used to work, the last place that I worked at, we had, I believe on last count, over 750 young people that did national service in our organization over the last 5 years or so. So I've met quite a few people along the way, new people coming in, and I remember situations where someone even comes to you, you ask them a question, and they're just mumbling something. And you wonder, how can I rely on this person to even help me? If I even send the person to go and get something done, could they even explain themselves? Could they express what I'm asking them to express? It's not personal, but that is not the way to go. We appreciate humility, and it's very important. Arrogance doesn't really help us. But you have to be assertive. You have to have self-initiations. You have to have self-motivation, and all these very important things which all form part of leadership, communication, being able to at least express yourself, and all those things are very important. And we need managers in the area. Continue to need people who know how to be detail-oriented and make things happen. Don't let things fall through the cracks and all these things. You have to pay attention to these skills on top of some of the obvious technical ones, whether you can do some engineering or you can get into infrastructure and development, coding is always useful, and support activities. We won't lack. There are many, many activities that we need to look at, and I'm sure will be looked at, which can create jobs. Security, and this is especially in the public sector, which not only has some opportunities for public-private partnerships to create jobs, but also have certain new ideas within the whole idea of digitalization, in terms of, like I said, security, in terms of so many things I've seen, even how we do policing in the country. There's a lot that we need to do and can do to digitize the process, and we will have not just police officers on the street, but also IT people that will be needed to support these things. So we need to work on them, so support and all that, and just developing yourself in those areas, data protection and what have you. But again, above all else, right, and so C, especially for our ladies who sometimes tend not to be so much interested in some of the STEM areas, you see that it's not just all coding. And that's something that we need to keep in mind, and the soft skills that go with it, because you're not really just a machine. You're not a machine anyway. And the days where IT is just for some folks who are kind of nerdy and all that is long gone. So there are many, many areas that we can all get into, male, female, and so on and so forth. So I hope that this has added some value for you. I thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sefel. And so we bring the very first part of today's program to a close. We are going to now move into the foyer for the rest of our session. As I said, we're going to be having a breakout session in a couple of minutes. So please look out for that. Our dignitaries and invited guests, we'll need you to be outside for a quick photo and then to also go across the booths to see what is available. And so the photo booth, you have to go through the door on this side, and then as soon as you exit the door, the photo backdrop will be there. We'll need all our dignitaries to move there, all our invited guests to move there for the photo before we do the tour of the session. As I indicated earlier, we have one of our sessions, our breakout sessions, beginning sometime around 12:30. Our first breakout session will be in 3 parts. One of them will be here, and it will have 2 meeting rooms accommodating us for the other 2. The first one will be on tech skills development. It will have Marvin Lomo, Jeff Ichampong, and Dr. Pascal Brenya being a part of that. Second one will be tech entrepreneurship with Kwame Lanyo and Anthony Jamethi. And then the third one will be tech careers and soft skills with Mary Bennett and Genevieve Amponsa. That will run from 12:30 to 2 p.m. And then from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. is when we have the Industry Academia Tech Dialogue on the theme Critical ICT Skills Required to Access Tech Jobs. That will be happening in this main auditorium. And so, ladies and gentlemen, a big thank you to all of you for making it for this particular session. We're going to go out and enjoy a bit of the fair. For those of you who came looking for jobs, there's a website that you can visit, and we're going to have the website on the screens in a few. So you can check out the website and see what jobs are available right now that you can apply for. So as you heard in the radio interviews and you saw everywhere else, you can just get to the website. If you have your CV on your phone, which I believe you should, just go on and submit, and anything can happen. All the people who you are going to apply, for jobs are available here. All the companies are available here. You can walk up to them and have conversations with them and engage them. So we're going to have the website on the screen. Just please head on there, submit to the jobs that you are interested in, and you can be a part of that. So I'll kindly and humbly ask for our invited guests and our dignitaries to please exit through the right side here. We'll move into the foyer, take a quick photo, and then we'll do the tour of the event. Then after that, we're going to head straight into our breakout sessions. Once again, my name is Philip Ashon. Thank you so much for being a part of it. The website will be available on the screen while all of this is going on. So anytime you can just pop in and visit the website. The URL will be displayed on the screen. Thank you so much.